Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning in. So again, I have some notes from the book A New Earth. There were some interesting things some interesting downloads that kind of came as I was reading the book, and I wanted to share with you guys just kind of the way that my mind is conceptualizing some of the things that he said to wrap up the book, right? So ultimately, from my understanding, the whole intention of A New Earth is to teach people how to connect to universal consciousness by quieting their ego. And what Eckart Tolle says at the end of the book is that is how we create a new earth, which is basically if everyone understands that they are a part of collective consciousness, and collective consciousness is sharing intuitive messages through everyone, then if everyone quiets their ego, or they do the work in order for them to hear the messages more clearly, and then when people are taking aligned in conscious actions, they are thus supporting the consciousness in expansion. So as long as you are quieting your ego and tuning in to the intuitive messages that are coming to you, then you thus are supporting in the expansion of the universe, and the universe wants to expand. So it is going to conspire to help you. The universe is going to conspire to help you manifest whatever the goals that you have. You just have to maintain presence and listen to the intuitive messaging, and understand that anything that is happening to you is happening for you. Inside of the human experience, like, you're not going to just experience highs, you have to experience lows. There is polarity, duality, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's polarity to everything. As you hit the peaks of your frequencies, you're going to have lows. So you just have to understand that whatever the lows are, it is guiding you into the direction of you manifesting whatever the goals are that you have. Anywho, that to me is what I received as I read the book. So there were two quotes that really stood out to me at the end of it that I want to make sure that I call out for you guys. The first quote says, "Without the impairment of egoic dysfunction, our intelligence comes into full alignment with the ongoing cycle of universal intelligence and its impulse to create." So as you are quieting your ego, you are thus aligning yourself to universal intelligence, and it is going to give you the motivation, and it is going to give you the intuitive messages for you to continue to create, so that you can push the universal consciousness forward. And I'm going to keep saying expansion because there is a quote. Let me see if I can find it in my phone. Pause. I'm going to try to find it. I can't find it, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to do that. There is a quote inside of the book where he says Stephen Hawkins is basically asking, like, what is the point of the universe? Like, what is the point of the universe moving? What is the point of the universe communicating and giving intuitive messages, or whatever it's doing? Like, the stars rotating, like, what is the point? What is the point of all of it? And in my opinion, and as soon as I read that, the word that came into my mind was expansion. That's the point. That is the entire point of all of this. The universe is trying to expand. The universe is trying to learn. And I mentioned this inside of the video where I said, you'll find magic where you look for it. Magic is all around you. At the end of the day, like, that is why all of this feels like a paradox, because the universe is constantly evolving. It's constantly evolving. So if we are a manifestation of divine consciousness, that is the point. That is why we're here. We are a vessel, a channel for universal consciousness to support its expansion. So inside of this quote, it is saying that without the impairment of the egoic dysfunction, our intelligence comes into full alignment with the ongoing cycle of universal intelligence and its impulse to create. That is what happens when you wake up one day and you just have a desire that you just have to do. When I tell you guys that a few weeks ago, I don't know what came over me. I was just like, I need to record. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm recording for, but I just need to get on YouTube and I need to start recording my messages. I didn't question it. And I think that that's another problem that we have as a human species, is that anytime we get intuitive messages, anytime we get desires, we start going, oh, well, should I do this or should I do that? And you start looking for people to give you permission and all of these other things. And honestly, I really think that when you just shut everything off and you just act inside of a place that feels like authentic to you, and you just do what feels right. And also, intuitive messages and intuitive action also does not necessarily mean you have to be doing something. Intuitive action also can be you receiving messages for you to rest. That is also an intuitive message, that of taking action, which is to not take action. That is also very, very possible. The other quote that I wanted to call out was, when the cycle is no longer usurped by the ego, the spiritual dimension will come into this world through the outward movement, thought, speech, action, creation, as powerfully as through the return movement, stillness, being, and dissolution of form. I want to highlight the keyword cycle. We are constantly in this cycle of highs and lows, as well as us constantly being in this cycle of receiving messages and us doing doing everything in our power to nurture those messages and protect those messages from your ego and from your negative thought patterns. When I was thinking about this, I was just thinking about some of the archetypal messages that are connected inside of tarot. I was thinking about the cycle of, like we talked about a second ago, the cycle of taking divine and intentional action, which is a masculine energy, right? And then the alternative energy, which is much more like internal, and the energy of nurturing and caring for your consciousness and your consciousness and divine action that you want to take, nurturing it and protecting it from your negative thought patterns and your ego and your fear. I was thinking about the Magician and the Strength card, right? So you want to know how I'm a beast, because you see how the colors are the exact same and you see the symbolism in both. So let's talk about both of these cards. The Magician is your masculine energy when it comes to the consciousness cycle. And I'm trying to think of what I want to call this like particular cycle, but it is the cycle of expressing universal consciousness and universal, completing universal action. The Magician is your master manifester. This is the card that is telling you that you have the power and you have the capability to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest inside of your life. That you have the power and you possess. Come on, baby, focus. You possess all of the tools. You see how he has the pentacle, he has a cup, he has a sword, and he has a wand in his hand, right? The wand is directing up towards the universal conscious energy. I am receiving universal consciousness energy, and I am being used as a vessel in order for me to manifest that and those intuitive messages into the material world. That is what the Magician is doing. And this infinity symbol, to me, symbolizes the cycle, the consistent cycle of receiving intuitive messages and being that vessel to manifest that intuition in the direction that you're receiving from universal consciousness, manifesting it into the material world. So the alternative, in my opinion, again, you're going to hear other people say different things, because there's some people that believe that the High Priestess is your alternative to the Magician. But in my opinion, when it comes to this particular cycle and this particular energy, the Strength card is a better representation. So your Strength card is the feminine energy of nurturing. It is saying, hey, ego, calm down. It is taking your primal instincts, the instincts that you are having as a human being. And when I say primal, I'm talking about this lion. The instincts that you have as a human being, your feminine energy is saying, hey, like, let's chill out. Let's calm down and let's receive our intuitive messages from the universe again. And you see the similarities between both cards. So you see how they both have the infinity symbol over their heads, that is them being connected to the universal consciousness and the universal consciousness energy, and being connected to receive those messages intuitively. But on the masculine side, I am the vessel to act, to create, to do. From the feminine side, I'm receiving those messages and I'm using that to direct myself to nurture, to love, to create a safe space for growth. It is a continuous cycle, and it's happening every single freaking second of the day. That's why like the infinity symbol is so important, because this is something that is happening an infinite amount of times. You're having so many thoughts per day. Like, what percentage of those thoughts that you are having, how do you know what percentage of that is regurgitated garbage, is programming, versus how much of it is divine, intuitive, conscious messaging? In order for you to receive that conscious messaging, you have to quiet those internal thought patterns that are just like habitually just happening all of the time. So when it comes to this cycle of being connected to universal consciousness and constantly going through that masculine and feminine cycle of, I want to do something, I just received an intuitive message, but then you have to balance it with the feminine of, look, let's make sure that we are nurturing this intuitive action that you're receiving. Let's make sure that we are protecting it. What can we do in order for us to combat some of the negative thought patterns? What can we do in order for us to like seriously calm the ego so that we can create a safe space for this conscious action to manifest into the world? So you see that all the time when it comes to the divine masculine, just like in general, men living inside of the world and existing in the world, when they are able to partner with their feminine counterpart, they feel more nurtured and they feel more loved, and it allows for their manifestations to grow exponentially. That could be a reason why your manifestations aren't being complete, that you have a feminine blockage that needs to be fixed, that needs to be nurtured. Every single time you attempt to manifest something, your ego gets in the way, or your fear gets in the way, or your doubt gets in the way, and you don't have somebody coming in, and you don't have that feminine energy there to love and nurture and allow for your manifestations to grow and continue to prosper. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. I pray my computer doesn't crash while I'm trying to upload. Okay, that's all I have for today. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.